But what if we could get to a point where our cup overflows? So we feel great, but that overflowing is what we give without running out. That's the goal, and that's not easy.
Do you put others first and forget about yourself, leaving your gas tank on empty and feeling unfulfilled? Meet Phil Januszewski, a high-energy human that has two passions. By day, he is an extraordinary and caring Chem physics teacher, building professional relationships with his students to support their academic growth and personal development. By night, he is a motivational speaker, empowering adult givers to flourish in their personal and professional lives by avoiding burnout and boredom. Two passions, one purpose, and that is spreading joy and happiness into the world through motivation, education, and entertainment. Welcome, Phil Januszewski. I am so happy to have you. You are the happy person. I don't think I've ever met anyone who is as happy as you are, and I never know if there's a sad moment in your life. I'm sure there are, but you do not show it. So tell us a little bit how you got to where you are today.
Well, Terry, so good to see you in these Zoom boxes, my friend, sending you love. Friends, my name is Phil Januszewski. I'm a speaker, teacher, and creator that loves pouring out good energy into the world. So Terry, by day, my trade, this is my 20th school year as a chemistry and physics high school teacher in the southwest suburbs of Chicago. But by day, I do that. But by night, I'm actually a motivational speaker. Half the time I speak to adults, myself solo, pouring into adult givers, trying to help them show up to life more inspired and less tired. And then I also, since 2013, have been a youth speaker with my best friend. We're called M&P Presentations, and I love pouring into youth, helping them build self-confidence so they can open up doors and opportunities into their life. So as far as that in a nutshell, it's been a journey and a beautiful one. I'm very lucky, grew up in a wonderful home, supported by my parents. They kind of let me be my own unique, weird, high-energy self. Thought my whole life I was going to go to culinary school, be classically trained. Realized after a bunch of jobs in a restaurant as a teenager that it wasn't the life for me. It was just a passion and hobby for home. Luckily, I had an incredible high school teacher named Mr. B, who helped me realize that I was called to be an educator, a teacher. So at 17 years old, my whole trajectory of life changed. Went to college to become a high school chem and physics teacher. And 20 years later, here I am talking to the wonderful Terry and doing a lot of unique things that if you would have asked me 20 years ago what I'd be doing, I wouldn't necessarily have said this, but here I am and I'm here for it. And just like you, Terry, I'm trying to make the world a better place by empowering others.
Wow, that is a fabulous introduction, Phil. In your day job where you teach chem and physics, tell us how that all of your energy, all of your speaking, all of your inspiration can translate into the classroom.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. I take great pride in bringing high energy into everything I do, but especially my classroom. I think that when students see that I'm excited to be there, I'm energized to be there, and I like to think that I'm a role model to show them that you can have a job you enjoy, that you pour your heart and your passion into. And I think that when you give that day in and day out consistently, they buy into it more and they realize that I'm there for them. I'm there for us all to learn and grow together. And I do think me being a motivational speaker has allowed me to become a better teacher, but also vice versa. Me being an educator has allowed me to be a better motivational speaker as well. So they went hand in hand, and I like to bring that every single day into everything I do, which can be a little annoying at times to people who might not be looking for it that day, but I am consistently high energy 100%, Terry.
To me, chemistry and physics is so out of my league. And I'm sure there are others in your class that aren't born chem phys individuals, kids. How do you use your energy and your inspiration in teaching this subject to people, to kids? How old are the kids you teach?
So I teach anywhere from 15 to 18 years old. So I think that just like anyone, right? What's the saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I like to tell them that there's a lot to this course, but I'm going to take you there step by step, not in front of you, but beside you. And when again they see that every day I will be there with them, high energy, my hand out, ready to help them forward, I think that it becomes more manageable. And all of a sudden, people that maybe had a limiting belief that just came in thinking, I can't do this, or I'm not a chem person, I think they start to realize that, oh, I am a chem person if I want to be and choose to be. And that's, I think, the best part of my job is that to help them see that they can be successful if they choose to, and that there's no longer this ceiling that they put on themselves. I say, hey, if you want to be a future chemist, you can. I'm showing you the way. You're right beside me. We're going to do it, and we're going to be successful. And if you choose to or not to after this is totally your call. But I don't want you to ever doubt yourself that you can't do it. And I think because of that, they buy into it. They believe it because it's true in the end. And they really start to realize it by the end of the year that they can do hard things if they want to.
I love that, how you transitioned from having it be a course, which a lot of people, a lot of kids don't catch on to saying, I know it's hard, but we can figure out together how you can get through it, which is a far cry from when I went to school. I probably flunked it because I didn't have the kind of teacher that was by my side saying, if you work hard, I can help you. You know, I don't have a mathematical mindset or a chem or physics. Getting through those courses was very difficult for me, and I probably got D's. But, you know, when you talk about it that way, it just feels, if I was in that class, you would have given me inspiration to say, okay, I can go to Phil, or however they call you in school.
Mr. J, no one wants to say my last name.
Right, Mr. J, and ask for help. And I know I get it. And maybe figure it out so I don't get an A, but maybe I get a C. I just love that mindset. I really do. And being a teacher today has got to be difficult for a lot of teachers, and a lot go through the motions of teaching. But I don't see that in you, that you really bring this high energy, positivity that would make anyone want to be in your class, because they know there's going to be acceptance. Even the kid who would be like me, that's embarrassed because they can't figure it out.
I think that everything is built off of trust and empathy. And the day they walk in, I tell them that I have no idea what their expectations are or what their experiences have been in the past with science classes. But I tell them that I care about them, but I don't care about their past. It means nothing. Everything is a clean slate. And I tell them, if we do this together, I guarantee you will pass and be extremely successful. And all it takes is consistent effort. And like you said, lean on me and ask for help when you need it. And we will get there 100. And again, as time goes on and they know that I'm consistent in my word, that trust is what gets you the buy-in. And all of a sudden, they realize just how powerful they are when maybe they didn't realize it. And truth be told, it doesn't matter what I would be teaching. Science is great. I enjoy it. But I really love being there with young adults. I'm an extreme extrovert, and I love that age group. I just think the transitions they're going through, it's an exciting time, like a roller coaster. And I really try to help them shift their perspective, that roller coaster can be scary or it can be exciting. Let's embrace the exciting time of it, that, hey, we don't know exactly where we're headed or what we're doing, but there are things we can do consistently to really enjoy it. And that's when we really start to thrive. So that's why I've always loved that job. I think that it is the age group, and whatever subject I teach, it is what it is, and I enjoy it, but it really is for them. I really enjoy the human side of it.
How many teachers in your school are like you?
I think many.
Really?
I think many teachers really enjoy kids, and they really enjoy their subject, and they really take pride in helping kids succeed. I really do.
That wouldn't have been the answer I expected, because I think teachers get a bad rap in a lot of areas where, they just do it and it's drudgery and they come in every day and they crank it out and then they go home and, they're like robots. And that's the difference between a kid getting a incredible education and one getting a very mediocre education. And especially for kids that are not thriving, for kids that have a hard time. And that was me in math and sciences. I drowned. And I didn't have a Phil, a Mr. J, to really take me under his wing. So it's so refreshing and honestly so inspiring to see that you feel in your school that a lot of them are like you.
I'm lucky. I think I agree with you that there is an image of a teacher that's just kind of going through it and waiting for the summer and it's just a job. But I would argue that I think a lot of people feel that about adults in general, that they just do a job and get through it just to get to the weekend. But there are a lot of great humans who really are called to help young adults, and they take great pride in that. And I know that that isn't always highlighted in modern society right now. We aren't exactly heroes. We tend to be more the enemy in the media, but I'm surrounded by a lot of great humans who care a great deal. And I think that majority of my students would agree that the majority of their teachers care a great deal about them and want them to succeed.
Especially that age group. They could be the future of our country in so many areas. And yet they don't flourish because there are not enough teachers like Mr. J, where they can flourish and they can grow and they can become, just through their teacher's eyes, more than they think they could be.
Yeah, I think we all need a champion, right? Some people get that at home. Some people get that through a sport outside of school. Some people get that in the classroom. But I think that it's scary and an honor to be that champion for some kids. Some kids really connect with me.
Oh, I'm sure. To say you're a champion I have no words. I knew this would be a great episode, yet I didn't expect this. So kudos to you, really. You are creating change with a young generation in your corner of the world. Don't go away. You won't want to miss the rest of my interview with the amazing Mr. J, as his students call him. This episode is brought to you by Try Coaching. How has the not good enough pandemic affected you? What have you given up, not asked for, or not strived for because you felt you weren't good enough, worthy enough, or valued enough to deserve? Personally, I felt this way for a long time and never stepped up and asked for what I deserved because of those little voices in my head. If you are struggling with this, you may very well benefit from reaching out to me. As an executive business and communications coach of 22 years, I can help you move through these self-destructive beliefs and come out the other side, because I know I did. Let's talk about your speaking and how did, you're a teacher, how did the whole speaking motivational opportunities come about? And again, being positive, helping people out of boredom and burnout and creating change in how people set and reset their mindsets, if you will.
I like to say I became a motivational speaker by complete accident. 2013, my school was doing a leadership conference and they didn't have enough money to bring in one final presenter for an hour. And they asked us that we're helping plan it, if anyone had anything to say. I raised my hand and said, I'll help. I don't know what I'd say. And at the same time, another gentleman raised his hand that I didn't know very well. Now, fast forward 11 years later, and he's not only my business and speaking partner, but my dearest best friend, Matt. And we've been speaking to youth across the nation because we both figured out that we love to lift up others and we also love to entertain them at the same time. Again, it wasn't something that when I was 15, I said, one day I'm going to be in front of large crowds and grab a microphone and motivate people. It just accidentally happened. Now, fast forward again, and COVID and the shutdown, education was very different in a very dark time for a lot of teachers, including myself. I was not very happy, was not very fulfilled, started looking online and LinkedIn, thinking maybe this is it for me. Maybe it's time to move to something else. And I just know that a lot of great humans I loved and cared about were really down. And I thought, what is it that allows me to consistently be positive and resilient, even in rough times? And how can I help others figure that out if they're not getting there? So right around 2021, I started digging into positive psychology and realizing that I naturally, and just in a lucky way, lived my life in a way that allowed me to be positive and resilient consistently, even in challenges. And I thought, I need to share this with amazing teachers and givers of the world that are giving, and don't always get thanked or appreciated, or media bashes them. And how can I give that to them? So lucky for me, because I'd already been a speaker for 10 plus years with my best friend, I already knew how that worked. And I just thought, I need to give this to as many people as I can. So that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half, speaking to adult givers, helping empower them to take control of their personal life so they can show up to life and their career as even bigger givers without burning out. So if we can give even more to the world, I think that empowers us, makes us feel purposeful and grateful and energized. But we have to make sure we take care of ourselves first. So I help adults build in structure. I like to say the good things in their life to empower them to get to the level where they can even think about giving again without depleting themselves and burning out.
So what does adult givers mean?
Yeah, great question. I think a lot of us have a giving role in some way. So I would say like parents are givers, educators are givers, people on a medical staff are givers, people who tend to be certified support staff at big companies that give, and don't always get the recognition. Those are jobs where we give and we provide a service and value, but often it's an easy one to get burned out because you don't always get the highlight. So I love pouring into those individuals, helping them realize the impact they truly make, but also because they're such givers, a lot of them are really tough with giving to themselves first and just give so much that they burn out. And when we do that, we can become cynical, tired, angry, sad, bitter. But if we can take control of our life first, we can give more than we ever have before, but be fulfilled and energized at the same time. And that's what I love to do for those adult givers.
When we talk about adult givers, they give so much of themselves that the cup gets empty and the bucket gets empty. And then how do they replenish it when they're the giving, nurses and hospitals and everyone, you're right, adult givers, that's their job. And I think if they don't take a step back and say, wait a second, I'm willing to give, but I got to give to myself first. I have to be number one. And they forget to do that. And then the glass is empty. How do you give when you've got an empty glass?
Givers feel selfish taking care of themselves sometimes because they're so used to giving that they feel guilty giving. And also, I've seen it. I think women, unfortunately, have an even harder time with that because of social expectations and norms, like the motherly approach, like you have to give to your family and children and husband first before you give to yourself, which I don't know if you know my house, but that's not the way it rolls. We try to be completely equal. And by doing so, we encourage each other to do what's necessary to fill our cup up. And I love how you brought up that empty cup too. That's something I love to live by. Rachel Hollis, who's in the personal development space, talked about if we have that depleted cup, we're worthless. But what if we could get to a point where our cup overflows? So we feel great, but that overflowing is what we give without running out. That's the goal. And that's not easy, but we can get there just like in a chem class. We take step by step and build up to that. We can have a thriving life where we give more than ever, but feel energized more than ever without being depleted. It's possible. I'm living it. I love it. And I love helping getting people there.
As a coach, you're there to help people, but you have to help yourself first. You can't, I have to stay detached when I give. Otherwise, I fall right into their stories, and then it doesn't help me. And it's the same. I don't think we live in a society of people that care deeply when it comes to adult givers or anyone. In a way, it's like they expect that.
I think it's fair to think that. I also think it's easy to feel that way. I also think that there's so many great humans that are just so busy or just trying to survive that they don't even have the time or mental space to thank someone. And I don't think it's personal. I just think there's so many of us that are just barely hanging on. And because of that, you're right. It feels more and more detached. But when you meet just about anyone on this planet and they have a moment where you connect, 99.9% of all humans are beautiful, talented givers that are caring and empathetic, but we just have to slow down or not be at that point of just surviving. But everyone I've met, it's just always the same. Once we slow down, it's so reassuring, like how beautiful humans are. We're just so damn busy or just barely surviving.
Barely surviving and very, very busy. And their focus is on that. How do I get through each day? How do I survive? Even executives, I'm climbing the corporate ladder. Women is, I want to be work. I want to be more than just a worker, and they've got a family at home, and it's just juggling. And how do you stop and say, I can't do all of this myself. Who can I bring in to help me?
Yeah, you're right. Coaches are so valuable and important, and having mentors or leaning on others that are in a similar situation where you can hold each other accountable, have accountability partners. Absolutely. And to realize what I love to call your ers. I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a teacher, I'm a creator, I'm a speaker. Knowing your ers and how you can build those in every day, even a small way, is going to build up small wins throughout the day to energize you and allow you to feel more fulfilled than just surviving. And I think it's so important. And we get in such a habit of just going through the motions just to make it through, that if we just take a little extra time to plan, it can make a huge impact and completely change our life.
What feeds your soul?
I think a lot.
And you're a baker.
I am.
So you took your passion and become a baker.
Yeah, I think I have a lust for life. I love humans. I love creating. I love human interaction. So anything. I just have such a long list. There's so many good things in this world, but I love a good meal. I love my family and just being with them. I love positively interacting with good humans. I mean, I could go on forever. And the only thing I wish, like everybody, I would love a 28-hour day to experience even more of it. I know that time is limited. I know it's precious. I try not to take it for granted. And I know, though, when I lay down one day in that casket, I'm gonna be really proud of how much I've done and given to the world, and that I know that I'll be easily forgotten, but that I've left a lot of good energy that people can pass on without even knowing it was from me.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. That I hope that my audience can even take away 1/10 of Phil's positivity of how he expresses himself. I'm feeling that energy. Can you offer our audience one or two nuggets that can help them
Absolutely. First of all, if you're listening to this and you needed permission to do something for yourself, Terry and I are giving you permission to do something for yourself. Okay. It's not selfish, it's important. But my tip would be this: to remember the things that you love and enjoy. And it doesn't have to do anything with work or family. It can, though. And I want you to build in 5 minutes each day of that thing that you love. And I want you to slowly build off that. And when you build in those good things, I want you to think about how it makes you feel. And then eventually get to a point where you can say, how can I give a little bit of this energy to someone else and help pass it along? If you start doing that little by little, it can dramatically impact the way you show up to your personal life and your career and your relationships and everything. So it's these little tiny steps that can make all the difference. So build in the good stuff, schedule it into your day intentionally, and you're going to see dramatic changes. It's not difficult as far as hard to understand. It's difficult in just putting your foot down and building it in.
If anyone wanted to listen to your motivational talks, where can they do that?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Terry. So if you look up my website, philjanuszewski.com, and I'm also all over social media. That my handle is just my name at Phil Januszewski. But I would love to connect. Just like Terry, I love to meet new people and network. So if you're ever looking to just have a quick conversation and get to know each other, even if it doesn't really serve us in any way except to energize each other, I'm always game. I love humans, I'm a huge extrovert. So the more the merrier, but I would love to connect.
You want to tell people how to spell your last name?
I know, Terry, I'm a marketing nightmare. My last name is Janus, Z as in zebra, Ewski. So Phil Januszewski. I know. Try to Google my name and my weird haircut and big smile will show up.
Bill, this has been so amazing and so heartwarming that I knew it would be. You are so much energy that I didn't come on here with energy for sure, but I don't know. I'm going to leave here and go out and fly through the streets.
I love it.
Bill, thank you so much for this. I so appreciate you and everything you are doing to create change in your corner of the world. You're doing an amazing, amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Fully received. I appreciate you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. I hope this compelling and extraordinary conversation offered you thoughts on how you can create changes in your life. Reviews encourage people to listen to my podcasts. If you loved what you heard, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and review. For related content on extraordinary work, please visit my website, trycoaching.com. Meet Cynthia Lloyd-Darst, a passionate pioneer in the world of coaching since 1992. She's the author of Meet Your Inside Team. Cynthia guides people to know themselves more effectively by understanding the conflicts that hold them back so they can move forward with their lives. You won't want to miss this informative and inspirational episode with one of the most quintessential coaches of all time.